Today I'm going to walk you through setting up GitLab's Code Suggestions for Sublime Text. Code Suggestions uses generative AI to propose code as you develop. It can either provide entire code snippets like a whole function, or finish the line that you're working on. Let's get started and set it up for Sublime Text. This is the tool we've built to configure this. It's an LSP-based language server that serves GitLab AI code suggestions to LSP-enabled IDEs like Sublime Text. LSP stands for Language Server Protocol. It's a technology that allows IDEs or text editors to communicate with language-specific tools like auto-completion. You've probably used it in some of your text editors to auto-complete the code that you're working on, suggest function doc comments, help you write parts of the code, and things like that. There are only 6 steps to configuring code suggestions on Sublime Text. First is downloading the GitLab Code Suggestions language server experiment binary, moving that binary to the OPT folder on your file system to match with the documentation, and then creating a personal access token in GitLab to authenticate with the API. Then we register that access token with the binary and make the binary executable so we can call those commands. And finally, we have to install the LSP package on Sublime Text and apply the client configuration so that the LSP package can recognize the binary for the GitLab Code Suggestions that we installed. Step 1 of getting set up is to download the server binary from the releases page. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to download the Darwin AMD 64 because I am on a Mac. Now that we've downloaded that binary, we're going to place it on our file system. The configuration in the documentation assumes that our binary is located under OPT Code Suggestions Language Server Experiment. So we'll copy that and we'll use that as the location for our binary script. One way to move files from one location to the other is using our terminal. So let's do that. Let's head over to our downloads folder. And you'll see that I have the Darwin binary over there. So I want to use the mv command to move this binary over to the OPT folder. There we go. Oh, so we got a permission divide, and that's probably because the OPT folder is protected. So we'll probably have to use sudo to do this move. So let's do a sudo bang. Put in our password, and it's been moved. Step 3 is creating an access token so that we can authenticate with the GitLab's API. To create a personal access token, we have to go to our profile. So I'm going to open up the sidebar here and go to Edit Profile. Open that in a new tab. Once we have our profile open, we're going to hit Access Token on the side. We're going to create a token called Code Suggestions for Sublime Text. I'm not going to give it an expiration date, and I'm going to give it the read API scope. And then create the personal access token and copy it. Step 4 is step 5 is registering our personal access token with the binary. But before we can do that, we have to make the binary executable. So let's pull up our terminal again and follow through with making the binary executable. Terminal. Okay. So we're going to do chmod, opt GitLab Code Suggestions, language server experiment. That looks good to me. That makes the binary executable, and then we should be able to use the commands that they specified to register our personal access token. So I'm going to copy over this command. So we're calling the binary, calling the GitLab token command, and register. And then we're going to enter our access token. Let's go ahead and do that. And here is that Mac dialog that you'll see in the documentation. So Mac doesn't like opening things that are from unidentified developers. So we're going to hit cancel on that, and we're going to open our system settings and head over to privacy and security. And then you'll see, if you scroll down, you'll see that GitLab Code Suggestions experiment was blocked from use. You want to say allow anyway, enter your password. And then we should be able to run the GitLab token registration. Mac will ask you one more time if you're absolutely sure that you want to override security settings, and you want to say yes, open. Once you do that, it'll ask for your GitLab access token. Unfortunately, if I paste that in here on video, it'll show everyone. So I'm actually going to move it over to this other screen to paste in my access token. And then once you've entered your access token, you'll get this helpful message. Show you what that looks like. It'll look like this. It'll say checkmark wrote GitLab access token to this file. And that brings us to step 6. Looks like someone needs to update the documentation, so I'll open an MR for that right after this. So the next thing we want to do is apply the text editor configuration settings. So for different language client configurations, we have different sample settings that you can use. So we're going to go ahead and follow through with the Sublime Text sample configuration. You can see a GIF of it working on the README. So to set up code suggestions and Sublime Text, we have 3 steps plus some troubleshooting information that I ran into when I was setting this up. So let's get started. We want to make sure that we follow those getting started instructions. Make sure that you have the binary on your computer and you've registered a personal access token with the binary. Check. Next thing you want to do is install the LSP package. That's the language server protocol package on Sublime Text. So let's open up Sublime Text and get the LSP package installed. Here's Sublime Text. It opened in the other window. I will move that in here. Sublime Text, where are you at? Here we go. Here's Sublime Text. It's just an open text file. We're going to do Command-Shift-P to open the command palette. You can also go to Tools Command Palette to open this menu. We're going to do Install Package and install LSP, which is the base implementation of the language server protocol. And this is just the glue code that attaches all of the other packages. Doesn't really have any language server by itself. Our language server package is the binary that we installed. So we're going to hook that up with the LSP on Sublime Text. So the next thing we want to do is go back to the documentation and copy the settings that we need to add. So we want to add the following configuration to our LSP Sublime settings file. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this configuration, switch back to my Sublime Text editor, hit the command palette, and I'm going to do LSP settings. And that opens up the default settings as well as the override settings here on the right side. And we want to paste in the settings that we need for code suggestions. I'm going to fix this. Just to look over this, you can disable code suggestions from here if you need to. The command variable is the location of where that binary is. So for me, it's in that OPT folder, but if you put it somewhere else, you should update that. And then the second thing you should update is the selector. So this is currently going to work only on Python files. So if you're using other languages, you want to update that. That looks good. I'm going to save and close. The first thing I want to do is open our console. Where's show console? So in case there's something wrong with the installation, we should have opened this earlier, but opening the console is a great way to make sure that the packages that you're installing are installing correctly, as well as the settings that you're changing. So it reloaded the LSP Sublime settings here. So if there was a syntax error or problem with that, it would have reported that here. Okay, so now that we know that our settings and everything is configured correctly, we're going to go ahead and do LSP enable language server. Let's do it globally because we don't have the project open yet. And I'm going to enable the GitLab Code Suggestions experiment. And then you can see that the LSP Sublime settings were reloaded, so there aren't any syntax errors. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull up a project that we can look at together and see Code Suggestions in action. What I have here is a function that calculates the factorial of a number. I've put in some code for the edge cases, like checking if the number is less than 0, and the factorial of 0 and the factorial of 1 are both 1. And then I want to calculate factorial for any other number and test out the factorial for 5. So I've left this part to be completed, and I want to see if Code Suggestions can help me fill that in. First steps first, let's do LSP toggle log panel, because this is where we'll see code suggestions interacting. You can see all of the logs, whether it's looking at a specific line of code or a specific file and the type of language that it's toggling, things like that. So all of the logs are pretty great, especially if you're having an issue, not always to look at for every little thing, but if you're having a specific issue or if you're seeing errors, it's likely that you'll see the information about it in the log. Now let's try and see if Code Suggestions can help me calculate the factorial of a number. So the first thing I want to do is multiply the result by I, right? Because that is the current integer. And then to do that, I would do result equals result times I. Oh, it looks like we've got a GitLab suggestion, and that's return result, which is actually the correct thing to do at this point because we have already multiplied the result by I. And now that I'm filling this out, I'm realizing that maybe this was too simple of a function to test on, so maybe next time I will have to show up with something harder. I should have left the whole thing blank. So that's all I've got, but I hope that this tutorial helps you get set up with Code Suggestions on Sublime Text. If you have feedback as you're using Code Suggestions and you want to share that with us, we'll drop a link to the feedback issue down in the description below so you can leave all of your experiences and what worked, what didn't work in that issue. In the meantime, I hope you have a great time with your AI-powered workflows. Happy coding!